in the name of God. Somebody asked me, what do you mean by with God? I said, I am talking to you. The intention is to be with God. When you go to your work, when you go back home, you are with God. You are with God wherever you are. You're raising children. It is not to be with God only in the mosque. All the world itself is a mosque if you want. When you deal with people with high morals, it is with God. Your modesty, charity to people, to the poor and weak, charity with your family, charity with the poor and weak people is with God. But only if you decide to do so with good intentions that only God knows. Welcome our dearest viewers to your program With God. We move together in this program to see the rituals and to move with pilgrimage. My guest, Sheikh Muhammad Al-Aslani, welcome you too. We're still with you continuously in this dialogue, talking, conversation, highlighting certain concepts and ideas that are needed to make all our life with God. We'll start in the name of God. Sheikh, today is the 12th of Dhul Hijjah. Many pilgrims are now moving from the Mecca to their home countries. What after pilgrimage? In the name of God, the gracious, the merciful, all the praise be to God, the Lord of the two worlds, and peace be on his messenger, Muhammad, his household and companions. My brother Ismail, as we mentioned, today is the 12th of Dhul Hijjah, which is the second day of At-Tashriq days. And today, pilgrims are permitted to hasten and leave back home. As I mentioned, yearning to the sacred land, it is there. Everybody tries to finish his pilgrimage safe and sound so that he can go back to his family. This is a natural feeling found in humanity and in all the pilgrims. But whatever you mention family, you have to mention the name of God more than you mention your family. Sheikh, the pilgrims attended the pilgrimage and they were in the ritual sites. They were in high connection between them, each other, and also in relation to God. They were cooperating with each other. There was solidarity, and they were calling people to God, and they were also supplicating to God for their well-being. Let us talk about continuity. Let's talk about sustainability. Now, pilgrims have finished their rituals. Now, how do they yearn to God after they have yearned to pilgrimage? My dearest brother, we should not confine worshipping just in pilgrimage, and not only in prayers, not only in the mosque, inside the mosque. No. The Quran says, all my prayers, all my rituals, all my death, even my life and death, are all for the sake of God. The life of a Muslim, since he wakes up in the morning until he comes back to bed, when he was a child, when he was 7 years and started to understand what's going around him in the world, when he was ordained to perform the prayers, until he dies, all his concern must be to obey God and to mention the names of God. This is real love of God. His life should start with the love of God. And when a person loves God, he starts, in fact, to produce, to be productive in his life. In everything you do, it starts with love. And for that reason, when Umar ibn Khattab came to the messenger and said, I love you, my prophet, but I do not love you more than myself. Messenger said, no, Umar, you have to love God, to love his messenger more than yourself. He said, yes, messenger of God, I love you, I love God, I love messenger even more than I love myself. This story tells us a lesson, how to love God. By loving God, by starting this love, it starts by obeying the Quran and living on the path of the Prophet. So your moving point is the Quran. This is a very important thing. You said love. Love means production. Production starts with love. And you mentioned the story of Omar when messenger told him, you believe only when you love me more than yourself. And this is what Omar did, in fact. Let us talk about love, productivity and love. People work in their jobs, do not like their work. What happens? Some people do not work, do not love their work, therefore their production is very low. Regardless of the salary that they get, and some people, even if they get low salaries, they love their work, they produce a lot. By the same token, how do we make love as the bottom line of us in loving God so that we can produce more, so that we can be happier in life? No doubt, love and faithfulness are two key factors for work. In addition, it is also important for us to know the blessings of God. When you love God, what are you loving? You're loving the great, you're loving the noble, the generous, you're loving the merciful, you're loving the entity that gave you everything that you can find around you, in yourself, in your life. Everything is from God. No else gave you anything. All of these things, great things, were bestowed on you by God. Even if something that you get from people, in fact, it's from God. We must love God. Love and worship together. You do not love without a reflection of that love in deeds. And you do not do something without love. It becomes as if you are obliged to do something. Some people go to prayers or pilgrimage and feel that they come obliged, or they perform the prayers without love. What is the spirit of these prayers? Well, when we perform the prayers for fear of God, but for love of God as well. And the pilgrim here in the house of Mecca is very happy in circumambulation, and for that reason he sheds tears. He goes to Mecca, he goes to Arafah, he goes to Muzdalifah, he throws the pebbles, and he is very happy. He is trotting and running between Safa and Marwa. He's doing that because of love. Love is commingled with work, leading to production. We continue after the break. Do not get away. We will continue with this important dialogue about love and yearning to God, with God. Stay with us, tuned.
So winds of love come approaching us, and for God we need to increase our eagerness. The whole world should be with me in worshiping God. Pilgrims of the holy sites, we are still, dear viewers, with you in our meeting with God, in our program meeting. So we'll continue our point about eagerness to God with our guest, Sheikh. So let's continue this talking about eagerness and love to God. Pilgrims are now going back home. So how can we develop further this eagerness to God? If there is like love and glorifying these holy sites and these holy places, to love the ancient house of God, loving all Muslims. When you perform pilgrimage and you feel that your fellow pilgrims, this is your brother from Spain, this is your brother from Africa and Russia and Asia. So this is how love is generated. even those variety, these different people from all over the world will give pilgrimage like a special flavor. So here comes eagerness, and people are getting to know each other here. So they will say, I knew this person during pilgrimage in 1990, for example, and now we became friends. So pilgrimage is a great worship where the hearts of all Muslims come together by the will of God. And here we have the eagerness and the willness. And if you go into pilgrimage, you will have certain memories in this holy place. These memories would come always to them if he buys something from Mecca or Medina and take this back home. Then he will remember this thing, that this I bought this from Mecca and this from Medina. This I found it in Arafat and I like it, for example. So pilgrims is like associated and linked, connected with the ancient house, whether they like it or not. So faithfulness will grow as much as we are eager to love God and love these holy sites. So Muslims, if they see any mosque anywhere else, they will be eager to this ancient house. So the Prophet, even when he used to go to jihad, he used to come back and visit the mosque and pray and then go back home. Why did the Prophet used to do this? Because this is the basic of love and eagerness to the house of God. And when he reached Al-Madinah, he built the house of God before building his own house, peace be upon him. This is a proof to the people that this eagerness, this love is to the mosque, to worshiping God, to ask God for forgiveness and to say Allahu Akbar. So these are Muslims who are faithful. They are always eager to these holy sites. So pilgrims, when they see Mecca, they start like crying, like tears of happiness for seeing this ancient house. I've seen pilgrims coming from some Russian countries, from Eastern Europe, Azerbaijan, and those countries who used to be part of the Soviet Union. Once they reached Mecca and saw the Kaaba, they started crying. Once they finished, they have to go to Safa and Marwa, then the Kaaba will be behind them. They were reluctant to go and leave the Kaaba behind them, so they were walking backwards and crying until they reached the Safa. So they said, we will not turn our back to the Kaaba while they were crying. What did this to them? It's the love and the eagerness to visit this ancient house. Perhaps among the most beautiful things that the government of Saudi Arabia is doing is the radio of Holy Quran. So there is like a spiritual association here. People are looking at the Kaaba directly 24 hours a day. So many Muslims from outside is eager to come here. There are a lot of stories that tell this eagerness among non-Muslims and Muslims alike. And Muslims who are unable to come here. We will be addressing this after this short break. Dear viewers, we are still with this program with God, so stay tuned after this short break.
Welcome back, our dearest viewers, once again to this program with God through Iqra satellite channel. We're still with you, with all yearning, with all love of God. We are continuing our talk with our Sheikh, the guest, in order to convey to you a noble and sublime message. We receive your calls, we receive your queries, and we have a call now from Fatima Zahra from France. Welcome, Fatima. Peace be with you, Sheikh. All the greetings to you on the Eid, on the feast. You too? I have two questions, O Sheikh. The first one, I am divorcee, and my divorcee asked many times. He got my dowry, he took it from me, and he is not spending money on my children. And he says, that I will not see his children. And I feel lots of grievance because I love God and fear God, and He is causing me my pain, lots of pain. The second question, Fatima. What is your second question? My mother is dead. I'm talking about the grave. Do we put water? To put water on the grave, you mean? Yes, I irrigate the grave to put water on the grave? My sister is always weeping on her, Sheikh. Inshallah, God willing, I will answer your question. We start with the question of Fatima. As for her husband, she is not divorcee, she is free. If he took her dowry, if she feels a grievance in this life, he will not receive injustice in the hereafter. It is the day of the balance there. It is the day of justice there. If she can forgive him, it is better for her. So, don't you love God to forgive you, even if you are hurt? But if you feel that she did not get justice from people in this life, I tell her to believe and to make sure that she will get all the justice and all victory from God on that day of the reward and punishment. And if somebody got immunity from punishment in this life, he will not escape punishment in the hereafter, because the ruler in the hereafter is God and only God. Don't feel sad. The one who did you injustice, he may get all of our bad deeds in the life hereafter, and we take all the good deeds. In the life hereafter, he wishes even to be in this life subject to injustice more, so that he can get all the deeds. Do not be sad, my sister. The Prophet says, a Muslim is a person, when he is hurt, he thanks God. When he gets prosperity, he thanks God. It's good for him. And when he is under injustice, he is patient. He gets reward of God. A call from Fatima from Morocco. Peace be with you. Peace be with you too. All praise to God. And greetings on the Eid for you and for pilgrims and for all people and for all Muslims on the world. Do you have any question, Fatima? I would like just to tell you about my feelings with God. With you, we are living an atmosphere of religious harmony. We thank God, full of peace of mind, tranquility, and full of mercy of God and love of God. I pray to God that this will be permanent with us. We are disconnected. The feelings of pilgrims outside the country is overwhelming. She called just to convey to us her feelings. Thank you very much. God reward you. Yes, the program itself is called With God. It is good that we receive calls, even if people would say that, to say how they feel with us, something that pleases us. As Fatima or Zahra, the first question we say to her, don't worry. Don't worry about the children. Don't worry about what people say. Usually when a person divorces his wife or the vice versa, people try to find something curious to talk about and to make gossiping on that. And they backbite the husband, they backbite the wife. Verbally, they are eating the flesh of people. But forget about people, forget about them, think about yourself. Be with God. And even after divorce, do not deprive him of his right to see his children and to make this connection of relatives, because they are your children, his children. Let them be of good connections with you and with him. Be truthful to God. She talks about the irrigation of the grave of the mother every year, every month, etc. This is not allowed. You are not allowed to go to the grave or to put water on the grave. The mother died and she will never benefit from water. Unfortunately, many Muslims do that. This is not allowed. And this is something not done by the Prophet. The Prophet did not, if he knew that it would be useful to irrigate the grave, he would have done that. He would have done that with the grave of Khadija, his wife, with people who died in Al-Baqi'. But what did he do for them? Let us imitate him in what he did. He used to go there and supplicate to God for them. This is what he did. To ask for the mercy of God. This is the most important thing. And also, I would like to urge you to go and pay alms. It could be charity, it could be money, it could be food, and this will, inshallah, reach your mother and will be of much use for her. In the few minutes left for the program, can we talk about something that Prophet talked about when he addressed his companions? He used to say, Bilal, relieve us by calling for prayers. How do we sustain yearning to God? This is what we call straightforwardness. When Prophet said, release us, Bilal, he means that call for the prayer so that we are happy and we are released and we go and pray and we feel very happy and our hearts will be filled of belief in God. And the prayer is a connection between the servant of God and God. If somebody disconnects prayers, we are disconnecting the link between us and God, and this is a disaster. We must all the time be in connection with God through prayers. Prayers are the pillar of Islam. We have to preserve them. It's not one or twice, 5 times a day. We wishing that God will make us among the believers and the worshippers of God. Rains of love, rain, supplications of people ascend, our yearnings, our loves, our humility before God do not stop. The servants of God, wherever you are, stay with God. Master your efforts, master your productions for yearning and love of God. Our dearest viewers, the minutes have passed very quickly and we talked about our yearning to God. We've been with you in this program with God throughout the past days to give you a live coverage, to transmit the message of belief wherever we are. Our dearest viewers, do not stop loving God. Stay with God wherever you are. We will all the time be with you in Iqra Satellite Channel transmitting our messages. We've been with Sheikh Muhammad Al-Aslami. Thank you very much for all of this meeting with you. God bless you. And we thank the viewers, all of them who were with us. Dearest viewers, in conclusion, I pray to God that He will forgive us all and make us closer to Him by love and yearning to Him. Thank you very much. Peace and prayers of God the Merciful be with you all.